Alright, this is going to be my video on measures of spread. Hopefully it is straightforward and makes sense. So we're going to be looking at some data sets that have numbers in it, and the first thing we're going to find is the mean. The mean, or the average, is how many, the sum of all of the numbers divided by how many there are. So if you have something like 5, 10, and 12, and that's your entire data set. Say you scored 5 points, then 10 points, and 12 points, and you're like, what's the average amount of points I scored? You're going to add those all up, and then you're going to divide by how many games you played. 1, 2, 3. Say, yo, I have an average of 9. Similarly, if you have more numbers or less numbers, 4, 8, 13, 7, 6. Add one more in here. 10. So say you had 6 numbers. What am I going to do here? I'm going to add them all up. So there's 12 plus 13. There's 25. There's 13 more. That's 38. And add 10 more. So if I add all these up, it's going to make 48. I'm going to divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many games that were played, or how many numbers I have in my set, and that's going to give me 8 is my mean. So the mean is just another word for the average. Meanwhile, you can also have a median. So median, don't get it confused with the mean. This is the middle number. But for it to be the middle number, you have to order it from least to greatest. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my set but from before, but add a couple numbers to it. So say I had 5, 10, 12, and then I had a 4 and a 9. So if I looked at it, I'd be like, oh, 12 is in the middle. It's got to be the median. That's not true. The median is going to be the middle number when you put them in order. So the first thing you would have to do is order them up. So 4, 5, 9, 10, 12. Now I could say, oh, 9 is the median. So the first thing you have to do is order least to greatest, and then you find the one in the middle. That is your median. Similarly, if we look at this bottom data set, I have 4, 8, 13, 7, 6, 10. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in order. So 4 is the smallest still, 6, 7, 8, 10, 13. And now I want to find that middle one. But something's a little off now. There's no middle. If I took off numbers at the ends, I would have 2 in the middle. So when you have an even number, so even number of terms, you need to average the middle. We're going to average these. So what's halfway between 7 and 8? Well, 7 plus 8 divided by 2 is 15 divided by 2, which is 7.5. So you could have a median that is not a whole number. And when could you have that? When you have an even number of terms. Sometimes, you might have 6 and 8 and they'll average to a 7, or 8 and 8 and they're the same number, you could keep it 8. Other times, you're going to find it just in the middle by having an odd data set. So when you have an odd data set, you always find the one in the middle. Odd number of terms, you always can find that number in the middle. Bam. But when you have an even number of terms, you're going to have 2 numbers in the middle, and you're going to have to average them. Alright, our next term is the mode. The mode is an extremely simple term. I'm going to make a new data set for it, though, because I am. So the mode, let's just riff off of this previous data set, but say I had 2 10s, 3 10s. The mode, it's easiest because this kind of goes with the most. So the mode is the term that shows up the most, or is your most common term. So what is the most common term here? Well, yeah, we've got 3 10s here. So 10. The one thing you want to look out for with the mode, though, is you could have a set where you have 2 modes, or 3 modes, or 4 modes. If I had something like that, where I'm like, oh, well, now I have 2 5s and 2 10s. So I'd say 5 and 10 are both modes. Okay. And then the last term we're going to look for is range. And range is going to be the least to greatest distance. So if I look at this first, set, or I'll take the set from the median, 5, 10, 12, 4, 9. What is the least? The least is 4. What is the greatest? The greatest is 12. How far is it between 12 and 4? It is 8. So my range is 4 to 12 and a distance of 8. Similarly, you could do this with the bottom set. If I had my 4 and 13 set, I would do the same thing. I would say the range is 9, or from 4 to 13. A distance of 9, and from 4 to 13. I think both parts are important. Okay, so now I'm going to take a screen of this and post it as notes. So please, I'm going to make one video where I look over sets, so I'm going to stop this one here.